after having understood what is an API and how does that work, we are trying to see that how will the API work in the code, actual code, right? So this is a typical code where we are saying that as soon as this page will load, okay, when you talk about page loading, it's like going to your browser and entering something. So as soon as your page will load, this API will get called. So basically, this is the API fetch, and this is the URL. Okay, and here is the resource ID to do slash 5. Okay, so basically, this is doing what? This is retrieving the to do with the specific URI, right? So this URI you will know from your code itself. Okay, and so what will happen is that once this API will get called, it will return something like this: the user ID is :1, ID is 5, and title is this. Okay, so this is what will happen, and then you will use all this information in your code and maybe show this on the screen, or maybe have some other logic depending upon all this information. Similarly, if I have to send some information, right, update the information, so post adds a random ID to the object sent. So basically here we want to add this particular user ID to this particular URL. So the method that we use is post, and here we will pass the user ID, the title, completed information along with our post. One important thing is that whenever we are calling the APIs, we have to pass the request method, that is nothing but uh, body and headers. So all these three information, this is the method, body and headers. So these three things have to be a part of the API always. Apart, only in case of get, we don't need to mention all these three things specifically. Similarly, we have put basically is there for updating your queries, right? So here we want to update the hello room for the user ID 5, and then we also have something called basically patch method, right? So here the method is patch, and this is more like uh, we only have to pass the specific changes that we want to do, right? So here you see that ID I have already included in the URL, and here I am simply just passing the new update that I want to make nothing else. Okay, so these are the different ways you call these APIs, and this is how it is working in a code. Now what will happen is that similarly we have delete method also. So one more thing that I told was that understanding the documentation. So idea is that whenever you are working with APIs, the whole purpose, or I should say one of the very important purpose of today applications exposing their API interfaces is that they want the people who want to integrate with their application simply use those APIs and integrate. So there should not be a need of someone sitting and working on that integration. So in a way, they want to make it. They want to not have a resource that which who is basically uh, going to charge for that integration. A user can simply do it with its own team. So the documentation of APIs becomes very important. Okay. So everywhere, wherever you will find these APIs, you will find a very strong documentation is there. So all that you need to do is you need to refer to the documentation. This is one of the examples of it. So here the documentation will say that what kind of API call you have to do, what parameters you have to pass, and what kind of example of API call will be there. So this is just one screen from that documentation. If you will refer to this weather API, you will find a lot of other information is there. So it is very important whenever you are trying to integrate with the APIs that you go through with the documentation end to end. Otherwise, you can end up making errors, and which will cause the issues later on. And these issues are difficult to resolve later on. Okay. So finally, what I